journey, you're going to learn a lot of things. A lot of painful things, a lot of great things, a lot of stretching, a lot of growing. And this was one of the things that I learned, and I didn't fully grasp and understand the concept until I was actually there. How many of you guys have been through something where you didn't really actually grasp what was happening around you until you were actually in the situation? You're like, oh, this is what's happening. Has anybody ever been there? Raise your hand. So I'm going to be talking about the weight of capacity. Why not everyone can go where you're going? Why not everyone can go where you're going? Why do I feel like I spelled that weird? Why not? I probably did spell that weird. Why can't everyone go where you're going? And we're going to talk about this because I think when I started my entrepreneurship journey and my journey in network marketing, I was 19. I'm 29 now and I'm going to be 30 in 2 weeks. So about 10 years ago, I went to my very first convention, and that's when I really saw the opportunity at hand, kind of like what Ken was mentioning, is like really seeing the data, the metrics, and being like, this is something I need to get involved in. And I want to talk to you guys something about growth. Growth demands emotional, mental, spiritual capacity that not everybody can carry. Sometimes leaders feel guilt outgrowing people. How many of you guys have felt guilty? Like, I'm outgrowing the people around me. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your best friends. You've had the same best friend circle since elementary school. And now all of a sudden, they're all working 9 to 5s, and because you're pursuing entrepreneurship, they're looking at you weird. You're talking about weird things. They can't really grasp what it is that you're saying. And they're kind of just looking at you sideways like, I support you, but I have no idea what you're doing. And I went through this, not with my best friends, but with like my second layer of friends. There was a certain period of time where it almost felt weird to talk about my goals and dreams. It almost felt weird to ask them, because that's what I would do. I wouldn't really talk about myself. I would just be like, hey, so what's your goals and dreams? And they would look at me like, I don't know. I'm like, I want to work. I want to make at least 100K. I want to, have good benefits. And I'm like, okay, but like, what's your goals and dreams? Like, really, what are you striving to do? And these are just some of the things that I would think about. Well, maybe I could just dim my light around them. Maybe if I just dim my light just a little bit, and I'm not this super exuberant, excited, energy lifting type of person. Maybe if I just dim my light, I can relate to them more. Who has ever felt that way? That you're like, maybe if I dim my light, I can relate to them more. It won't make them feel comfortable. And this is actually something that I'm still working on. Sometimes I get uncomfortable around people because I feel like people are either complimenting me. This happened actually to me this weekend. I was like, oh my gosh. I was at my cousin's wedding, and I was like, oh, it's her night. It's all about her. It's all about her. And I'm like that friend. Like, I just love to celebrate the people that I'm around. And my family was like, I heard you coming out with a book. Like, that's so awesome. And she was right there. And I'm like, no, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about her. Let's talk about her. And it just made me just feel like so uncomfortable because I want to be able to celebrate the people around me. I just won't talk about big goals and dreams around them anymore. Then I got to that point where I'm just like, okay, maybe I just shouldn't talk about these big things because it's making me uncomfortable, it's making them uncomfortable. I may just be outgrowing them and I feel bad. Has anybody ever felt like that? I may be outgrowing the people around me and it makes me feel bad. Does it make you feel like you're leaving them behind? What if I actually told you, if somebody got stuck on Mount Everest and you went to go get them and you're going down with the sled behind you and you're actually bringing them somewhere safe? But in our mind, we think we're leaving them behind. You have to start thinking differently. I'm not leaving them behind. They are still following, they're still watching me, so I'm gonna bring them to a place that they've never been. This is a perfect example. My best friend, her name is Ellie. Her and I have been best friends since we were 13 years old, so a very long time because I'm about to be 30. And you know what she started doing like a few months ago? She started investing, she started trading, and a few years ago she started doing that. And then a few months ago she's like, Katie, I want to open my own business. This girl used to look at me sideways when I would tell her I was going to conventions. And now she's going to conventions. And now she's like, I want to be an entrepreneur. Her and her soon-to-be husband, they want to create like a car wash business. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, what can I do to help? Like, I want to be there. Like, what can I do? And she was one of those people that I felt like internally, when I was growing in my entrepreneurship journey, I don't want to talk too big because I feel like the weight of that is too much for them, and they may feel intimidated by the fact that I want success and I want growth. And I didn't want people to feel intimidated by my big goals and dreams, so I kept it to myself. But that was wrong, because now all I do is speak life and positivity and what I'm thinking and what I'm doing, and now she's doing the same thing. And she's like, well, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm gonna do, right? It's important to learn how to still love people without having them limit you. You can still love your parents, you can still love your siblings without having them limit you. But in the very beginning, when I first started my entrepreneurship journey, including my mom, who's sitting right there, I love you, Mom, sorry. But my mom did not agree with me learning how to trade. She did not agree with me going to convention. She did not want me to do any of this for a little while because she just didn't feel like it was tangible. She's like, I don't know, that's like for washing people, that's like for... I said, Mom, I can do it. I'm 19. I can learn it. And, you know, I just kind of like ignored my mom for a little bit, but like with love. And then I was like, Mom, I'm still going to love you. And then without you limiting me. And then ultimately what ended up happening is like now my mom is like a super trader. Like super trader. I don't know if you guys noticed when Mike Sotero was up here, he called her Crypto Jen. She's sitting right there. You could talk to her later to find out why he called her that, because I can't talk about that. But let's just say she loves crypto, and she lives on the markets. I think she watches more Bloomberg than me, than probably all of us put together. Elevation doesn't make you better than others. It makes you responsible for more. So when you feel like God is elevating you, it's not to elevate your ego, never to elevate your ego. It's only because He is giving you more responsibility. Now that can come with pressure. Responsibility comes with pressure. If tomorrow I'm pregnant with twins, we're gonna go from having one child to 3. That's more responsibility, that's more pressure, right? Which, by the way, babe, I do want more children wherever you are, so pray for us because I want more little browns. Anyways, if that happens, then now we have more responsibility on our hands. But you know what? The blessing just got a whole lot bigger. So yes, elevation is great. It feels great. It's amazing. It's a blessing. But there is responsibility and weight that comes with it. Leadership requires emotional weight bearing. Growth doesn't ask if you're talented. It asks if you can carry the weight. The weight. When you go to the gym and you pick up weights, right? You might start at 10, a set of, you might start, doing one superset and then you're doing 10. Okay, then you go up for the second round, you do 15s, and then you go up and you do 20s, right? It's not because you're talented, it's because you can carry the weight. Because you did 10, because you did 15, and now you can go 20. And then maybe next week you're doing 25 and 30, right? But it takes time, it takes repetition. It takes you being focused, it takes you being intentional. Capacity is not about how fast you can rise, it's about how much pressure you can hold without breaking character. This is super important. Do you know the limits of your capacity, and are you vocal once you reach them? This I've had to be vocal about, especially since starting Zinrai. Hey guys, right now I feel like I'm working to my capacity. You may hear me say something like that, like to Ken, or maybe to Pastor Andre, or to Jason. I feel like I'm at my capacity right now. I need a second, right? And it's okay to do that. It doesn't mean that you're a weak leader. It just means that you're very self-aware to the weight of your capacity. Because if I overwork what God has already prepared for me, and I'm trying to put more and more weight, number one, I can break the plate, and number two, I can break my character. If I break my character, now everything that I do is at risk of me bleeding into that, because I've broken my character, because I've gone above and beyond my weight capacity. So, for example, I'm so glad you guys enjoyed the Bahamas. I'm so glad. I probably slept 8 to 10 hours the entire week. Because I was going to bed at 1 in the morning and I was waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning. And after that week, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to sleep for like a week. But I couldn't do that because we came back home and it was work. Oh, and I still have a toddler, so he wants me to go at 110 miles an hour every single day. So yeah, there wasn't time for sleep. But I felt like at that moment, I was like, okay, after like working, I think at that point it was like 19 days straight. I think I texted Ken, I said, Ken, I'm gonna take a day. I need a day. And he's like, you do that. Okay, you do that. I said, I think I'm just at my capacity. I just need like one day and I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. And it's important to acknowledge when you're at your capacity. And it's important to vocalize that. If you're on a marketing team, if you're a brand partner, if you're a trader, and maybe emotionally you're going through something in your personal life and you feel like you're just at your capacity in this moment in time, it's okay to say that. And it's okay to go to your leaders and say, I feel like right now with everything I'm dealing with, I'm at my capacity and I need a day. I need a few days so that I don't break character, so that I can be the person that you guys see me as. You see, because right now, you guys see Katie Brown, leader, co-founder, Love Swing Events, awesome. But if I'm reaching my capacity, you may see me stressed. And you know what? I'm that person when I get stressed, I get real quiet. Don't talk to me. I'm focused. Casey gets like that too, so it's pretty funny. Like when we're both stressed, like you can hear a pin drop. The other day, oh my gosh, the day before we came here, I'll share with you guys, I have a few more minutes. It was probably, I literally told my mom, like, I think this was the most stressful day of 2026. And I'm gonna explain to you guys what happened that day. I'm not gonna explain too much detail, but I'll pretty much just tell you this. Jason was having a very stressful day, and I was having a very stressful day, two completely different ways. So on my calendar, I had like one call. And I was like, wow, I have only one call, so I have enough time to pack and get everything ready for the trip, for the US Regional. I need to finish my talk. I need to blah, 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 blah. I was going through everything that I needed to do. My son gets sick. He has a double ear infection. We have to go to the hospital. But before I go to the hospital, I have to take my dog to boarding because obviously I can't watch her. I'm not with her right now. And I have a chocolate lab who's a puppy. If you guys have ever had a chocolate lab as a puppy, they're like, beep, 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 beep. So she goes to a special boarding school, and when I get to the boarding school, the lady grabs her, and we're like ready to walk inside. I went to go pick up her food. I said, okay, I have to run because my son has an emergency pediatric appointment. And then she goes, Katie, wait a second. And the fur on her body was like all wet. And I said, yeah, I've been smelling this like weird smell from her today. It was like very weird. And she had an injury on her neck. Like there was like an open wound on her neck. And I'm like, what the heck? And I like freaked out. She's like, I'm like, I need to take her to the vet. She goes, I know you do. And I'm like, but I need to take my son to the hospital. And then I call my husband and like, he's on a call. I'm like, this is what's happening. And he's like, wait, you gotta get on with the lawyers. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like texting him on the side. I'm like, okay, you pick up Judah from the hospital. I'm gonna take him with my mom. Thank God my mom is on the pediatric list. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go to the ER with the dog. And then I'm gonna come back. And this was the day. And then it was so funny because at like 4 or 5 p.m., I felt like horrible as a wife because I was like, oh my gosh, like there's no dinner plan. I don't know what we're doing for dinner. It's like 4 o'clock and I tell Jason like, babe, what do you want for dinner? He goes, food. Literally, food. And I'm like, I understand that. Can you elaborate please? What would you like for dinner? He goes, food. I'm like, okay, you've had that type of day. I got it.